Ghidorah, Monster Zero, the one who is many. This titan fell from space to wreak havoc across the planet and terraform it, molding it in its own image. First seen in 1964 in Ghidorah, the three-headed monster, and most recently, Godzilla, King of the Monsters. This titan has the power to destroy entire planets, leaving only death and destruction in its wake, its horrifying screech echoing in the distance. Following his first appearance, Ghidorah went on to be considered Godzilla's arch-nemesis, returning for 7 Toho Godzilla films, 2 Heisei Mothra films, and even showed up as the main antagonist of Legendary's Godzilla King of the Monsters. It's safe to say this three-headed dragon has had a lasting effect on the Godzilla series, as its cultural impact is still being felt to this very day. But out of all these faces we've seen throughout the years, which one was the most powerful? Around the time of King of the Monsters release, we made a video about which Ghidorah is the most powerful, giving Showa a 9, Heisei a 6 for his original form, and 7 for Mecha King Ghidorah. The Mothra series got an 8, GMK Ghidorah got a 4, Kaiser Ghidorah got an 8, and the Planet Eater got a... I don't know, because it's so hard to even compare. If we're including that iteration of the monster, it would probably get a 9.5 since it's so overpowered, yet something so small was able to leave it vulnerable. But for this video, we'll be comparing the other versions of the kaiju. You can check out the video if you want for a little background, I'll have it linked on this video. We estimated a score for Legendary, giving it a 9, making it on par with Showa Ghidorah, but that was before the film was even released. Now the film's been out for a while, and we've witnessed the full capabilities of the devil with 3 heads. So, how does it compare? Will Showa Ghidorah or Legendary Ghidorah come out on top? Legendary Ghidorah crashed down to Earth from space thousands of years ago. It engaged in such a destructive and nightmarish war that it was documented by early man. But its attack was so petrifying that early civilizations went out of their way to forget about it, only being told through myths and legends. It was stopped by Earth's Alpha Titan, Godzilla, who was able to kill him and leave him to freeze in the cold desert of Antarctica, where he laid for thousands of years in his Arctic prison. Over that time, Ghidorah was able to repair his wounds using a regenerative ability and eagerly awaited his time in which he will be released from his prison to wreak havoc once again and kill the one that trapped him there in the first place. And that time came in 2019, when an eco-terrorist organization led by Alan Jonah and assisted by Emma Russell released Ghidorah in a misguided attempt to give the Titans back reign of the planet to end mankind's rule, which in turn would end pollution, war, and all the pain and suffering caused by the human race. What they didn't realize is that Ghidorah is not part of this world and didn't want to balance the natural order, but instead wanted to destroy it. An alien that has gone from planet to planet, destroying everything in its wake, terraforming the planet and remaking it in its own image. But what powers does it have to assist it in destroying the world? Size. MonsterVerse Ghidorah stands at a height of 521 feet and weighs a whopping 141,000 tons, heavier and larger than the King of the Monsters himself, meaning he has scale and mass on his side to assist him in conquering entire planets. Alpha Call. Demonstrated in King of the Monsters after he defeated Rodan in the skies of Isla de Mara, Ghidorah has the ability to command the lower titans across planet Earth, like Methuselah and Behemoth, in order to do his bidding. Godzilla also has an alpha call, but as he was seemingly dead, the titans had no choice but to listen to Ghidorah in fear of being savagely executed. The range of his roar seems to be worldwide, since the titans woke up almost immediately following his call. Durability. Ghidorah is incredibly durable, being seemingly unaffected by Godzilla's atomic breath outside of being pushed over by the sheer force of the blast. He can shrug off whips from Godzilla's tail, which have previously had the ability to completely flatten the Hokkmuto, and was completely unaffected by the Oxygen Destroyer, a weapon that nearly killed Godzilla. Regeneration. As well as being incredibly durable, Ghidorah has the ability to regenerate wounds and even lost heads at extreme speeds. The regenerated heads even retain their memories, making this power extremely useful. Flight. Ghidorah, of course, has the ability to fly with a speed of approximately Mach 0.8, which is around 988 km per hour. Surprisingly slow compared to his Showa counterpart, which flies at Mach 3. But Legendary Ghidorah's wings are extremely powerful, and they even have the strength to lift up Godzilla, who weighs 99,000 tons. Ghidorah's wings also feature a tough membrane that allows him to be shielded from oncoming attacks, which comes in handy when being bombarded by missiles. Storm Formation. Perhaps the most notable power seen in King of the Monsters is the ability to control storms, an ability unique to the legendary iteration. His skin consists of scales that contain electrobiological abilities that alter the planet's atmosphere, making water vapor heat up to extreme levels, which create the localized storms we see in the film, which reach that of an apocalyptic scale. Gravity beams. As for ranged attacks, the gravity beams are possibly the most famous ability seen on the Titan. This power has been seen in some form on every iteration of the Devil with 3 heads, and it lives up to the previous incarnations of the attack and even surpasses them. The ability is strong enough to completely push Godzilla over as he screams in pain. It can slice buildings in half, evaporate humans, and even obliterate smaller titans like Mothra, wiping her out of the sky. In the final battle between Godzilla and Ghidorah in Boston, Ghidorah absorbed the electricity from a nearby power station and harnessed that energy to let out an electric pulse, where gravity beams burst from Ghidorah's body from all angles, which severely injured Godzilla, leaving him scarred and mortally wounded. Psionic Link. Finally, for abilities, Ghidorah sports a Psionic Link, a psychic bond that is directly connected to its DNA that allows all 3 of its heads to communicate and even retain memories. This was demonstrated in King of the Monsters when his new regenerated head retained the memories of his previous head. But this ability was a core plot device in Godzilla vs. Kong, where Ghidorah's skull was used to control Mechagodzilla, since its Psionic Link essentially turned Bone into a supercomputer, allowing the pilot to control the mechanized giant remotely. In the film, Ghidorah's memories came flooding back after Mechagodzilla was equipped with an unlimited power source that originated from the Hollow Earth, and he was able to override the pilot's control and command the mechanized Titan himself. This is a super unique and powerful ability that means Ghidorah can still wreak havoc even after death. But what about weaknesses? Argo Weapons. Ghidorah was seemingly injured by missiles from the Argo. It appears to be the first time the kaiju has been hurt or at least affected by conventional weaponry. Water. Since Ghidorah is a winged creature, he has a tough time underwater due to the resistance from the ocean, and may have very well been defeated by Godzilla had humanity not detonated the Oxygen Destroyer, stopping the King of the Monsters assault in its tracks. Godzilla got as far as beheading Ghidorah, well, one of his 3 heads. With enough time, Godzilla may have defeated him in this situation. Orca. The Orca, a device that has the ability to control and communicate with the Titans, was able to somewhat irritate Ghidorah. Since Ghidorah is an alpha species like Godzilla, he is not able to be controlled, but the Orca certainly did annoy him and was even able to wake him up following the release from his Arctic prison. Nuclear Pulse. Finally, as for weaknesses, Ghidorah was, in the end, defeated by Godzilla's thermonuclear pulse, which was a ranged ability given to him when certain requirements are met. That being, he must have received a sudden influx of radiation, overloading Godzilla, sending him into a nuclear meltdown. And then, Mothra has to sacrifice herself, which in turn gives him a way to ventilate that radiation. The subsequent nuclear ability emits a pulse equal to that of nuclear bombs, blasting buildings away and completely evaporating all biological matter within the radius of the blast. Ghidorah was not able to survive this, and not even his regeneration ability would be able to help him this time. Now that's all his powers and weaknesses, let's get to ranking Legendary Ghidorah. Where does he sit on the scale with our current knowledge of the sheer power of the Titan? Legendary Ghidorah has powers capable of destroying planets, which we see demonstrated in the film as he leaves a wake of destruction equal to that of an apocalypse never seen before by mankind. It lives up to the legends and the myths of a monster so terrifying that humanity was too scared to even write about it. Its Psionic Link and weather control ability are incredibly unique powers that allow Legendary Ghidorah to stand out from its predecessors. But in terms of weaknesses, being able to be seemingly injured by conventional man-made weapons is a glaring flaw in its defense when compared to the iterations of the past. So does it beat out Showa Ghidorah, who had a score of 9? Well, we're going to give Legendary Ghidorah a score of 8.5. This iteration of the Titan is easily one of the most powerful versions, with an array of mind-blowing abilities that allow it to be a walking or flying apocalypse. But it just doesn't beat out the classic that flies over 3 times faster and wiped out the entire planet of Venus effortlessly. So, Showa Ghidorah comes out on top as the most powerful version of the Devil with 3 heads. What did you think about our final rating? Do you agree with our assessment? Let us know in the comment section down below. Over on Twitter, a whopping 66% of you voted that Legendary was the most powerful. Let us know if you agree or disagree with that score. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then leave a like, because it helps us know what you want to see more of. Don't forget to subscribe and stomp the notification button to become a resident of Dangerville today. I've been Alistair, and we'll see you, residents, in the next one.